a mixed bag for the Turkish side so far this year, but some notable results in there. Starting out on the attack side, as you can see, Kicks the only one left from the last time CNED was active in the server.
Well, Zeus won't be active anymore. Entry picked up by Kovac. And it seems that FUT still want to stick around. See if they can get something back in their favour. Still got to keep a note of where Yetazhe is playing. He's deep in towards spawn and there's players heading his way.
Anticipating this push coming in, both Les and Durka on his radar, and they will be now. A shot to the side of the head of Mr. Fallen, but Yetazhe can't quite find out where it's come from. He's found the first, but still, not spotted Durka. And he's not managed to pick up the kill. Gate crashes away. It's a bit of a stalemate at the minute mark. Yeah, and Vitality being proactive, looking to try and clear out short and just missing out on the players leaving lobby. But you can see Durka still wanting to go down C long. And there's utility even being wasted trying to find Durka and clearing that question mark. It's one of the reasons why we hold this roster in such high regard. The weight of a name like Durka has you flashing in your own spawn. But FUT now starting to rearrange, regroup. Contact piece towards the A site, as Vitality do still have a player advantage should they find themselves in a retake situation, and that's looking ever more likely. Yeah, well, Vitality vacating this side of the map, they will need to be careful coming back into it. FUT will probably try and look for getting the numbers back in their favour, and with them having so much space to move into, they'll probably try to take that extra ground and see what they can find. Majority of the forces though for Vitality are coming from spawn, and that plant, well, it's not for CT, so where are FUT going to go here? There's the captain and the partnership between the duelists. Still one flash left on Durka, but it's the flank from CNED we've got to be looking at. Lines up the first, but it's a quick twist and a shot from Unfate. Oh, he's managed to pick up a second as well, and now it's only Yetu remaining. He can isolate these fights as the captain is creeping his way forwards. 3 in the end from the Sentinel, but it's Kicks to close. Very nice round overall from both sets of players, but more so Vitality, right? The fact that they were able to constantly create a question mark. I mean, Durka pushing the backlines with less. And yeah, I like the ideas from FUT to try and even things out and get things more into their favour. Overall, decent pistol. It's a good start for the Vitality defense. And a confidence builder for both Unfake and Kovac. The latter, of course, opening the scoring on the pistol round. Big pickup for him. As we say, look, people throw around the term Swiss Army knife very loosely, but finally we have a Swiss player we can actually apply it to. And it quite literally does. 20 out of the 27 available agents played. A few of them shown for the first time the other day. And with CNED being part of this force with the Outlaw already finding one, there is a lot of pressure on those 2 new players now. Yeah, Unfake taking himself down to 10 HP with that second peak. You can see FUT, how they're still wanting to hold on to that A space, but it's Mr. Fallen we have to look at, and getting caught out in mid is not going to be good at all. That allows Vitality a little bit more comfortability. Vitality did struggle to build off of any momentum they'd had from pistol rounds before, and we'll get to that in just a bit. So you can see the reason why FUT want to crack down on this early with a purchase, but it's only going to make things more difficult. We know how Haven plays as a map, especially on the attack side. This is where you should be favoured. Vitality opting to defend first, and so far so good. Cypher set up towards C, should be bypassed. Plant a possibility here, but very quickly you're already seeing that reaction come through middle. Yeah, I'm really liking this from Vitality, and well, the Cypher setup will be cleared out, and Vitality in the same margin have went and re-cleared a lot of this map. Heels trying to get onto the engagements, it's not pretty though. Stunned up in the corner, Zeus gets another, now it's a 2-on-2. Alright, Zeus now trying to find more, trying to see what he can see in through CT, and it's Kovac through the other side, a bait and switch, and that force from FUT does not work out. It does not. And it's only going to make things better here for Vitality to continue building that confidence. Lots of individual engagements still happening. That was one of the things that I took away from the GX game.
Nice.
And the macro was lacking maybe some of the fights going favorably for them, and already towards the top of the scoreboard it is the 2 under duress, and that stat that I was alluding to. Every single bonus lost for Vitality, where they converted a pistol before. This one, not really a bonus, is it?
Nah, it's more an anti-equal here. If they lost this, it would be
devastating.
Yeah, definitely. Early space held on to on A lobby while FUT moved through Garage here. Looking to deal and interact with that Cypher setup, but there's only one trap here as well. It was every single bit of Cypher utility in Garage previous.
But have found them in a position to get a plant in so far this game. Durka denying the C long side, so it's 3 players through Garage, one of them still sticking around. The fourth, Yetajay, seeing if he can catch a player in transition. They've got to dig out Durka first, and still yet to find him. 2 players hunting him down, one of them Zeus. There is a trade in there, and an outlaw dropped.
Still time to work with as well for FUT if they want to go and go elsewhere on the map, and it seems if that is going to be the case.
Zeus can traverse quite quickly as well, back on the Neon.
Vitality have got a lot of work to do in this mid-round here.
And timing, Yetajay breaking it. Still
30 seconds
trying to keep Vitality honest. CNED the same as he makes his presence known on the B site. Kovac cutting across and yet to miss a shot so sharp from the Swiss, and that's exactly what we needed to see from him after last week.
Still that Cypher trap up on B.
Only now being dealt with, time running out, but Yetajay still landing shots as it stands. Low on HP, Spike not down, too many angles to consider as Zeus has the pain put on him by none other than Unfake. 3 in a row, Vitality still not out.
Yeah, that's very well done, but that's to be expected, and you could see FUT trying to interact with a lot of the setup, create problems for the defence, but this is a really great start for Vitality overall. We have to speak about Haven as a map and how difficult it can be to defend, so good momentum and setting back this attack is exactly what Vitality wanted to start this map out.
Exactly, get those rounds in early. We know FUT's defensive record speaks volumes itself, and it's whether they found the majority of their pickups against mates. The Vitality, again, it's just about starting to rebuild that map pool towards what they're hoping will be a champ's appearance. Hell, any kind of deep run feels so far away right now, but it's one step at a time. And into the first rifle round, you can see FUT starting to put that priority on Garage control yet again.
Getting a little bit of conditioning. That cam's still in there though, so when the players leave, that cam will easily re-clear that question mark space. So FUT not realising that, starting to back away now and head towards A. And Vitality's mid-round will be made so much easier by the setup.
It's a lot of ground to cover towards A right now if you're FUT. But Vitality are happy to entertain the retake. They have 2 very powerful ultimates coming back in. Kovac can maybe look to deny a plant, take a player out of position. Unfaked, well, the same with the Hunter's Fury, but it's all hands on deck. 4 players now on the A site, ready to receive FUT in this execution.
Not cleared towards Graffiti. Kovac gets the first and, well, still kept even!
Whoa!
But not before Kix gets his.
30 seconds left.
And, well, as the announcer says, with the spike down and not a lot of time left, FUT need to get a move on. Still need to clear towards Hell, and Yetajay's actually doing it. Now it's all up to Les.
Great display from the Brazilian last week. Now in the 2 versus 1, wants to get out on site early.
He's not being allowed it though, that's the problem. So Spike will go down. One more cage to work with if he wants to try and use that to get out entirely. What is that from Les?
World class! I don't know how he pulls it off, but the Phantom will find them both. And so FUT fall short of their first round, and Vitality a 4th. This was brilliantly played from Kix. Maybe it is just a Phantom diff between the 2 of them. And FUT will be kicking themselves after that.
It's the adaptations, like from the Cypher setup as well, that really allows for that to be such an easy round for Vitality. Like just keeping that Cypher cam there, not using it until they know FUT have left that area of the map. And then they can lean so much heavier towards A. Still a buy here for FUT though, so it's not completely out of the woods just yet.
But the headline for this round will be the strength of Vitality's ultimates. The only one missing is on Durka. But as it stands, you can see him floating over on A with this operator. That's what you expect the Euro to do. Constantly be pushing the limits of the extremities, allowing a heftier rotation. And already you can see that in motion for Vitality.
Finally this time they'll be able to get rid of the Cypher Cam, but it has activated the Hunter's Fury in tow, and Krax gets caught out. And on top of that, Derka gets another, so pain compounded right now. At least CNED is able to get one back in FUT's favour.
Yeah, feels a little bit schoolboy from Les after what we've just seen. Two-player advantage, but the spike nowhere near the C site, so the execution can't come in. This is a nice layered defense from Vitality though, and if FUT were to head back to A, it is still Derka's op that they have to get past.
That's exactly where they're heading.
He's repositioned towards sewers. This is brilliant from Derka.
He's ready for this. Just holding on to the right-hand side of the smoke, but well, CNED will actually use from the shadows to get in towards A Heaven, committed to it, and they've managed to get around Derka's op entirely.
Kovac has all of the info here. Both duelists ready to fight.
They are, and well, Derka's the first one, and he's denied the spike. Time so low. This is not looking good whatsoever for FUT, as it's now all up to CNED. Has to get the spike down as well, and Vitality are giving him absolutely nothing. 5 in a row without an answer.
And after I strike,
that second buy falls out beneath FUT. They will be without money here, and Vitality can continue to build. You're expecting the timeout to come through, as this was such a well set up round. As I say, maybe slight overcommitment there from Les, but can't exactly fault the rest of the play. Kovac, fairly subdued. He had a lot of energy throughout in his career. He's only been absent from a few. Into the next round, Vitality looking very strong. FUT needing to cause some problems. The timeout won't have been for what their plans are here.
Unfortunately,
here,
that Cypher setup still stands, and I mean this is a big point to talk about, right? The fact that Les has always been able to keep that up. Derka with a line of sight, and there's two players on the other end. He doesn't know that. With a great crash gone, he tries to reposition it.
We're very slow in this round, but finally see an injection of pace. The footfall towards the long side. Derka stunned and an ult to support. It has managed to catch a target, so while Kovac is fighting elsewhere, the rest of his team holding it down on the site. Unfake picking up one. And it makes for a 3-on-3. This is a great position for FUT to be in.
Can easily flood back out here though.
Krax also has the ultimate to try and reinforce, fortify something, but they fall instead. Yetajay now thrust into the clutch, and with an op in hand on this wide angle, cage to his side, surely there is no chance. Unless he gets overlooked, but Kovac cracks down on it. That will be 6.
Oh, I mean, I guess the concession is that the spike does go down for FUT, but still Vitality unmarked, not really having to struggle in these rounds, which is the most worrying part for me in this Haven so far.
The way that I see FUT, of course, very fundamental. And with Jonta coming in and Krax departing, or not Krax departing, sorry, Atta Captain departing, part of that original core that we saw for the last few years, the question would be, how long does it take to implement his vision? And with that timeout now behind us, does it come through strategy? Because, of course, there's been no innovation in terms of composition, really, other than the change of Krax here onto the breach, as Kovac is scaling very quickly, and lobby control has been taken early by Vitality.
Yeah, this is a nice reaction straight towards the seaside, but Derka's here, he's TP'd in, he's looking to get an engagement.
Forced to withdraw from the situation. Big reveal backside. Zeus with a huge target on his back. Kicks will shoot him down. Still, Vitality in a position to flood this retake, and with Derka's ult committed, they will.
Clearing through the ulties, but that is a big ultimate to delay.
And FUT just not really in a position to keep challenging this. No extra input backside. And with that, it falls 4-on-2. Both players still on a very open line, trying to fight through long, but with the smoke dropped in, this recon has to do the heavy lifting and stop Kicks from getting half. Not landed, he just full sticks it. Well, Yetajay will walk away with all the kills he could have asked for. the round continues to evade them and it'll die after time.
Yeah, a guaranteed advantage in towards the next half as well. It just feels like there's nothing to... I say it's terrible, but there's nothing to get excited about for FUT. Here they tried to delay, they use ultimates, and that's really big components you need for future rounds.
And that's something I was getting onto here as well. Are they just playing the tried and true and sort of getting by while the strat book builds itself behind the scenes, or can we really see a different version of this team? Do we need to? Because right now, Kovac has his own new lease on life. It's another first blood.
Still, you look at Vitality, they're starting to encircle this push from FUT. Yeah, you have the A space, but you're not really getting anywhere near the site, and Kovac's looking for more.
Playing around the own smoke. It's just too easy. Another investment from FUT, which might just be amounting to nothing. Kovac is a man remade on Haven today. With CNED flashed in the corner, it doesn't matter. You can't flash those champs winning credentials here. Kovac snatches yet another as it ends an in-zone flawless.
It's so interesting as well as it looks like. Yeah, it's going to be another timeout for FUT. The second one used up. Yonta not happy with how things are going. And yeah, I think like as well, just the wider conversation about FUT and kind of what this group looked first map.
Fastest attacking team on Haven. As we said before, they've been very direct before, and so far in this game, it's not a look that has best suited them. Very quickly getting shut down in these opening duels.
Zeus has picked up a hero rifle. That's probably because he's got the overdrive for the next round if needed. Derka dancing with the devil there and able to get out.
So responsive, so ready for that second fight with the shorty though. It's the first time we really see FUT fully explore B. On the first few rounds, CNED had managed to find a way in, but other than that, perhaps a bit of negative space for them to flirt with the idea of at least.
Absolutely nothing being given away by either side.
And one difference to highlight in this round from Vitality at the very least is that Les has completely moved the Cypher setup, and with Hicks' positioning on C as well, he's very ready to disengage, and there is the ult back through.
Yeah, and it's Zeus that's been caught. That's the rifle. That's the important member of FUT. And that's the one that can bite back, which he does. In towards the site, execute. There's more ultimates invested, but Derka at least keep things even, but not for long. It just sends it forward. This has been FUT's best chance at a round.
And of course it comes from Zeus. The ult will expire, but the gun's still hot in his hands. Both players retaking spawn side, plenty of money for Vitality. You give this a go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one cage to get out, but that happening right there, that kill could be the disaster. Still though, hold on, delay, trying to stop the players getting out, but they finally do. In towards the new angles, not clearing back sight as Zeus gets his ace and FUT their first round.
Finally striking down 5. And that's what it takes, an ace for FUT to get on the board. A conversation I wanted to have coming into this is that we saw a FUT that can still win matches without a stunning display from Zeus. So how do they look when he does show up? That's what has been required to get this one started. How much further can they take this first half?
Question on everybody's minds. CNED now with the attack side up. Derka giving that up and deciding to go for the rifle. But this is an aggressive take as the players send it. I mean, they're trying to refight him, but it's Vitality who are coming out on top. You can't even get the spike. It's too far forward in window. And FUT trying to get out. I mean, Yetaji manages to rescue it from the grasp of Vitality.
And it's CNED with this fabled operator in a 4 versus 2. Showed plenty of disrespect on the attack side, as we've seen him sent to Omen here. Just now removing the dart from the spy cam. Vitality able to get bodies over, no problem.
Still though, CNED trying to get out from Garage, and you know, Kovac on the other side, he's been very good in these engagements, very good when he has to brawl his way through, but you've seen Ed who comes out on top, and he's looking to dip away straight away.
Well, he has the ultimate here as well, so as soon as the hat confirms that there is nobody towards the A side of the map, that's exactly where he'll go. Not the spike carrier, though.
No, not the spike carrier, but also on top of that, you've got to be looking at a cipher wire, right? The fact that no one's interacted with it, sure, that's the Omen that's further ahead, but you're thinking that probably, right now, it is placed for a retake.
Where the bodies sit on the ground right now, FUT also know that Vitality is still occupied with mid, as the info reconfirms that both are playing from site.
That line through on towards CT,
Oh,
at least they're able
CNED
to deny that information coming through the old drone. Now it's even, and time ticking away. That's the ally for FUT here, as we see right now, unfake in towards CT. The bow's being seen, and CNED knows there's a player close by. That operator waiting, and there's a no-scope. The classic out, but instead it's the from CNED! This lifeline slowly starting to build for FUT.
FUT have Phenoms, and they have rounds. It's wicked sick from CNED. And for those who would have questioned his role in coming to this team, just put an op in that man's hands. And is there anything he can't do?
I mean, that's what you need though if you're FUT. You need rounds like that to build the confidence, build the energy up as a team. Both sets of players have an operator now. Derka versus CNED, and it's Derka who comes out on top first.
Big kill to find early. That's the only smoke that FUT have here as well. No cloak and dagger. Felt like quite a straightforward send towards C, and that's another player catching a lot of damage. Crack's getting away with his life, but the same can't be said for their captain.
I mean, FUT, if they want to hit towards C, need to have garage control, right? You don't have a smoke to stop that cross if anyone is going to play from there. Instead, no, it's going to be B. And Kovac close by and ready.
Leading the line. Kill impact in the server. One here for the task at hand, and Zeus has relieved him of his duties. Plant goes in, FUT a man down, but that hasn't seemed to be a problem in the last couple.
That forced to play on site, and well, FUT looking for more space.
Paranoia back in. VIT's position revealed. Less clamping down. Vitality looking to make sure that this will be number 9, and Unfake adds the ult for good measure. Poured into the pot. A recipe for success, finally. The only way to stop the rot is find a round, and that's exactly what they've done.
Hey, for Vitality, they just have to stop FUT in this next half being able to contest them. A pistol round would probably be enough to close this out, or you'd think that would be the case. Vitality look absolutely great. And on top of that, Unfake as well. Last week said he was a frag in IGL, and this week he's backing it up.
And Zeus, even here, 1 ace for every 8 maps. Feels like a lot of real. I know we were there for the Neon ult against Gentlemates, but I think he's going to need a few more aces here for to get back in the game. They just need one more round here, really, to give half a chance.
Seems if this is going towards B, or you would think that. It's just a fake, and they're depositing CNED towards the back of B.
Nice rehearsed opening. He gets backside control, now playing from Gong. Forces Unfake to invest the drone, and don't know if it was expiring or what, but he fired the recon bolt pretty early, so there's still a huge question mark in the middle of the map.
Yeah, and Derka is showing that the middle of the map is his. CNED still back there and not activating whatsoever as Vitality work around that, and well, Derka in the back lines, it's starting to once again get a little bit claustrophobic for FUT.
Yeah, the map has flipped. Mr. Fallen has to be careful. It's another round where he drops in the back line and the spike goes down. Derka solving problems yet again for Vitality, as it's another 4 versus 2.
Last player standing.
And on top of that,
30
CNED, even though being able to play that Joker card, and it looked like in the late round that would be absolutely spectacular. He's left all alone with 20 seconds left.
It's the deep clear. which this round lives and dies, but Unfake jumps the gun. CNED falls as Vitality, in response to their critics, post double digits in the opening half on Haven.
Spike down. Enemy remaining.
Together,
Try not to die.
do Vitality begin to panic?
Yeah, I mean, we saw a couple comebacks yesterday. Let's not cost this once again.
Always getting the really heavy halves, man. What was it? First time we came out here, couple 12-0s.
Yeah, we've got a 13-0 as well.
We did. First in the partnerships era, in fact. I saw the new Vitality co-streamer, Commend, was saying this was going to be a 26-0 today.
Interesting.
Don't quite believe it, but
Well, he's already wrong, so unlucky Commend.
we're not too far off. It does start with the pistol, though.
As it always does.
A slow start for Vitality. They've already taken some space C long. Kicks keeping Yetajay interested. As the two new faces on Vitality begin to explore sewers.
Taking their time throughout the map, Vitality. But not really having much control at all, apart from mains. And I mean, they've completely given up here.
Playing a full retake. This smoke through mid is just going to add another spanner to the works. It's a fake plant and a TP from Durka,
I
but
like that.
it's going to take a while for him to get to A, and they already had the site at their disposal. So in many ways, it feels like the strat has gone better than planned
30
at this
seconds
point.
left.
Yeah, FUT now scratching their heads as to what's happening, but they're starting to get an idea now as they lean heavier towards A, and Vitality, they've still got a lot of utility when that retake comes through.
To counter paranoia, a couple flashes, recon as well, but FUT can say the same. Their initial combo of utility doesn't meet much of a response, no capitalization, so they send it in at a second chance, and it's a flood of red hitting the feed. CNED needing yet another clutch. He'll find 3 of the 4, but the final one evades him, and so Vitality will claim back-to-back pistol rounds through Unfake.
Yeah, this is getting sweet for Vitality now. That round was perfectly called. It was perfectly played out. I don't know if it was rehearsed or what it was, but yeah, I mean, they looked as if they wanted to play a retake towards it, especially with the positioning of the players outside of it.
And I kind of like the idea, perhaps as well, to stagger a bit of the utility. It was a real talking point of the Teho meta, the phases of signatures that you get, the waves. Trying to balance the violence and the silence, as some have said before.
Yeah, FUT being proactive, looking to be aggressive down mid.
Kicks just trying to cordon off this area. Someone else that in this team has the potential to really be a star in his own right. I think shouldering the brunt of the role change. But the smokes have looked good so far. But set up to greet Vitality on this D execution with numbers. The weaponry might not be there, but the shots from Kovac certainly are.
Yeah, they are. Vitality are making this look as easy as possible, as they will hit map point in pretty swift fashion after the second half has started.
Definitely helped out by the fact that they were able to pick up those first 8 rounds without retaliation. Puts all the more pressure on FUT towards the end here as well, because they didn't even really have a true bonus last time. They're up against the Force. This will be rifle v rifle, but look at the ults already. I know we said we didn't want to see a 2-man show from Vitality, but it's Kovac this time, and he's 1 off of the kill contract.
Something to take note of as this round develops. And Durka, oh mate, that flash was absolutely perfect, and it stopped Zeus's stunt from getting anywhere near him. Completely blind, and now Vitality look to encroach that A site, but less. Just making sure to play late into this round.
Durka's still going, he doesn't care! He makes FUT sweat! And with 3 already under his belt, final player's been brought into the Shadow Realm as FUT are kicked out of Haven. Their home ground amounts to nothing. How does it develop as it goes on? Again, a very quick team on their attack side. It's the defense where they will choose to begin. their opponent's pick.
Things starting towards that A side for Vitality, looking to try and bust through the choke, but a nade is always needed to stop that push, and B main also seen head being baited for by Cracks.
So not exactly the two we were talking about, but Cracks always a player who is so good at putting his life on the line to set up the play, but Durka's read it ahead of time. Those kind of decisions are what makes you one of the best, and with Unfake also finding Yetajay in the process, maybe he is a fragging IGL after all.
You'd hope so if you're a Vitality fan. Fallen just a glimpse there. He's using the own attack Viper Wall against Vitality's. He scaled up there. A big duel against less, and well, unfortunately, it looks to be a clean sweep by the attack so far.
Just waiting now to group up and take the C site in unison. Cracks waiting at the back. Still has a horn and a headshot onto Unfake, but can't hang around for too much longer. Forced to drop back. Zeus looking to get played in by some utility, but it's just not happening. Not right now. Vitality with every single pistol in the bag so far, and they'll look to make it 3 for 3. Up against Cracks, he falls, and that's it. Done and over with.
Yeah, an in-zone flawless, very well played. Every single player on Vitality getting a kill. And I mean, that's from Durka. You can't kid a kidder, right?
Exactly.
He knows exactly what is waiting. I mean, a lot of this is FUT trying to take these 1v1s, trying to get things in their favour, and Vitality being so prepared.
That is something I want to entertain a little bit more as well. Unfake and his fragging capabilities. Perhaps just the pressure.
Yeah, and also on top of that, like with you saying that, they did a really interesting post-match interview after the loss last week, and it was Unfake talking about how him and Kovac actually like kind of not used to being on stage, right? Yeah. Using the setups, the fact that they missed a couple of comms because they hadn't used like the noise cancelling headphones as well, you know?
Yeah.
It's something as simple as that that can cause problems.
I mean, there are excuses in there as well, of course, perhaps. But I do agree. Feeling a lot less tense this time around. And if you want to then fall back on the experience of Durka and Les, even Kicks at his first champs last year, then there's plenty to learn from, and that is something that he has been very open about. The benefits of being in this team. It's one thing to change pieces around, but an IGL in the middle of your season, with all the expectation, something completely different, of course. And Kovac quietly going under the radar and finding a few more impactful kills here. Easy ones, perhaps, as this full save from FUT is very quickly swept under the rug.
Yeah, and the Vice Wall as well, going to identify FUT coming from behind. They even had Kicks going for a late lock through A. He was doing that all by himself.
And you want to see Kicks be able to step into the Starlight a little bit more as well. I think in some ways he's always reminded me of a Jonah P style player. He makes everyone around him look really good, but also has the potential to pop off. And just enabling the individuals for Vitality was always going to be a big talking point with the purchases made. And speaking of economy, it is now the first full gun round that we get a look at between the two.
Yeah, meant to be a bonus. Vitality managing that economy well, and managing the rounds as well. Only one kill being found by FUT in the past two, which is insane to see.
They are mine.
Like it's going to be an A play, but FUT looking prepared for this util combo.
It is, and well, Vitality have been respecting this A fight every single time, and well, they're going for a quick pop towards C.
Mr. Fallen has brilliant positioning here with the paranoia, can catch a few targets, but Kovac unblinded, unperturbed, holds up the rest of his team. CNET work to do himself here on site, but forced to disengage, so Vitality in a position to look to try and move to post, but Zeus overlooked.
Need to be careful because Kovac is so low, but at least he has the ultimate for post, and that's exactly what's being used.
Timing on Les here as well through waterfall. Cracks just moving the crosshair away a little sluggishly. It has been made the call to then go ahead and retake the site. As there is one player away from the rest of the pack, but Les now grouped up through the revolving door. A 3 versus 2 played out from main. Only Kicks now, and it's his chance to show what he's made of, and he's gonna make them pay! That's Kicks back on form with a Red Bull clutch.
And you know what? It gets even worse for FUT. You consider Haven and what happened there. The early lead that Vitality were able to accrue. And it feels like it's going that way once more.
And as I set it up, Kicks has the ability to do stuff like that. He has, through his own journey in Tier 2, from finest up until now, showing that he can do it on the very best and biggest of stages. Oh, such a frustrating one for CNED, looking to release the flash, and Yetajay not too far behind. Zeus does remove the one player detached from the rest, but already Vitality scaling into A at a rate of knots.
There's absolutely no resistance whatsoever. It's like a hot knife through butter. Well, FUT are being spread all over the canvas at the minute. In terms of like the blood, like...
No, I got it. You sure you didn't miss your pre-match meal?
What do you mean?
The food analogies?
Oh yeah, don't start talking about food, man.
Durka eating well, as are the rest of Vitality right now though, and the question on my mind is, how many rounds are we going to see them find consecutively? Because the first map was an absolute whitewash. 8 in a row, this now 4, and soon to be 5 or 6 should they win the next gun round. We have to take stock of the ultimates very quickly. It's a showstopper on either side. No other big pieces looking like they're coming up just yet.
It's about value though, right? It doesn't matter what's up. The big key word is value. And who can come out the other side? Vitality every single time. Haven't really moved that far past the Viper wall, and it'll be the exact same thing again. The same opening as they looked as if they were heading towards C.
FUT are paying a pretty high price, a big upfront to take rubble control, starting 4 players towards A. You'd think it was sort of an anti-rush setup, but C has really been the preference for Vitality in general. Durka roaming solo through the middle. Finally, we see that defense stretched into a 2-1-2 setup.
Toxin screen down.
Vitality cutting all noise and making FUT worry. Ambiguity, creating a little bit of ambiguity, creating anxiety. That's not what the position you want to be in. FUT don't have any real tools at the minute to go in mid-round. I mean, you've got a haunt on Cracks, but where do you even use it? Well, he's used it on E main.
He's forced to, because Les put the Viper util up, and now it's the C hit, and that showstopper does get a return.
Yeah, that is the value that we were speaking about, although Kovac caught out by Mr. Fallen, and it's an easy pivot now towards B, but there's plenty of players waiting. Zeus gets the showstopper out and gets value as well.
Also, Discipline drops back, lets them peek into him. And with 3 more kills, Les needs the same amount to win the round. It's not possible, and FUT break that streak nice and early.
Yeah, I mean, earlier than what they did on Haven. Vitality maybe kicking themselves with that round. They got the entry, they got what they needed, but doubted themselves. I think C probably was the right play, but as you move in towards Zeus and more players, a stack, it makes it that much easier.
Heading into the next, Durka now bringing out the operator for the first time on the attack side, and in terms of where he peaks it, it's C.
Wonder when we're going to get a break from the conditioning, right? Every single time, that's how they open towards A Vitality, but they've never really scaled up off the back of it.
You can see Durka getting very active in the comms here. I think he hears the click of the cam, and that's how he knows there was a contact piece. It's CNED that follows it up eventually and does disengage with the gate crash, but the left-hand side is vacant. Vitality still very tempered in their approach.
Need to be careful still. FUT want to hold on to this A space.
One thing which cost them last week was walking into these stacked sites. Cloud calling a brilliant game against Unfake, and now up against Mr. Fallen. It's his paranoia which gives them the notice.
He's tried to take a lot of timing through, but CNED is holding on, and he's done a lot of damage here, looking for an angle for the next engagement, but now Vitality slowly start to combine their forces and hit this site.
Brilliant positioning from CNED, but the shots just aren't there. Dodged the reveal. Kick certainly didn't, but the spike can now go in. It's an open plant from Unfake. Mr. Fallen's gonna spam it. It stops the pole from being able to fully commit, and with time dwindling 10 seconds or less, it has to be Kicks. He had the ult, but not the objective, and FUT make it 2 for 2.
Doubling up the round count, keeping things going, making sure that this defense starts to get something to work with, right? Because that's something that they really struggled with on Haven. And this C site slowly starting to not work for Vitality, because that's where the majority of these rounds have finished.
Nice!
Last round, the one round from previous from the last, they tried to hit C, got denied. That last round there, they hit and they lost out. CNED, he will not, and that's the entry on towards Derka. This is an equal round, and the only time I've really seen Vitality on pistols is the first round of every half.
Yeah, that is true. Losing 2 in a row means that while the loss bonus increases, you lost the round. So, oh, that's not what they would have been looking for. That's one hell of a shot from Kovac. 4 on 4, no weapons recovered. They can try and brute force C, twice the number here.
Good try, but there's still a Cypher wire in just in front of the choke, so it's going to be difficult, but you know Vitality will want to hit this just because of the arc rows. Side against it, and look to go elsewhere on the map. There's pings going out on B.
Or indeed. As Vitality are now looking to group up here. Les continuing his positioning in a lobby as he tends to do. FUT haven't really put too much pressure to actually isolate that engagement, and with the execution now heading in, Mr. Fallen just can't find the first.
Paranoia, the defensive one, is spot on, and well, FUT, they'll make it 3 in a row. Very well done, very well controlled and managed.
Exactly what was required of them, but the next round is absolutely huge in terms of the ramifications, and for that reason, exactly, it's Faded who's called a stop to the clock. Nice shot here from Kovac, but really not all too much to get excited about there if you're Vitality. And on the other side is slowly starting to creep back into the first to lift the Champions Trophy with Ascend all those years ago. With 65 kills in the opening game, now heading into this one, they are looking towards him and Zeus once more. Just a couple of ults offline, both showstoppers that we last saw. FUT are aggressive, but they've doubled down in a sense. They will be fighting less this time. He is forced to back off.
CNED isn't though. He's not backing off at all. He was wanting to get the engagement, but less well aware as the players try to bust through. Vitality will make it look as if they're going to hit A. I thought for a minute they were going to take their time, but Derka with an open hand knows exactly that there could be a player towards stairs.
And with the positioning of Kovac just outside the valence of B right now, and the Boombot already heading into Hobbit, you start to get an idea of what Vitality are planning here. A B finish with Mr. Fallen right in the middle.
Yeah, it's gifting things now to Vitality are FUT. And with the spike making its way through B main, you can tell exactly where this is going to end. FUT though, in a 2 versus 5, where do you even begin this? Is it going to be a save? I mean, looking at the money, I don't think that's a good choice. Unless they maybe want an operator in the next round.
I think you also have to be considering Vitality's own finances and seeing how much you can chip away at the rock face there. Yetijay has already found one. Unfake, the least wealthy of the lot, but you always expect that from the IGL. He's been a lot more supportive in that sense so far on this map. No assists, actually.
Yeah, interesting. Time now starting to tick away as we look at this being definitely a Vitality round, and they have been reserved in their position and not wanting to re-engage, but they'll catch out Yetijay. And well, that'll be 2 rifles lost for the attack.
Not all too much. Vitality continuing to build their lead, and there's a truce. Not an ultimate required for either side, so continues to stagnate. This was a brilliant one tap from Les. Such a tight angle, but as I said before, this is an area which he continues to operate in. Yeah. Defaults most rounds there, so he's acutely aware of what he has to work with, as both teams should be. Let's see if either of them have created any kind of a plan. So, seems to be very reactive, honestly, right now.
CNED. Ruby main, there's players there, decides against it, knows that there's a chance that players are ready to bust through and try and capture him. Again, FUT having that A space to Vitality, want to go and clear it.
Difference is this time, Les has brought company, so if FUT are to get stuck in, there could be problems, and it's the Op that wins the opening duel this time. Still on the Vitality side. With that pick in mind, Zeus is gone. The point man of many a FUT round. Now just looking towards where that regroup is coming in, but the spike creeping closer and closer towards the C side. Mr. Fallen has the ult, and he's the most furthest committed elsewhere, which means they can stack this a little heavier if they want to, but still, the focus is A.
Yeah, and now you've got to be looking at Yetijay with the Seagull. He's stuck in no man's land with no way out.
30 seconds left.
Oh, it seemed to be the case. No, he's going to manage to escape in towards the attack smoke and respect what Vitality are putting forward with. Next to no time, the spike will go down.
Bring me the arsenal!
There's even more delay through the Steel Garden being used.
There's only one player caught in it, Yetijay. Vitality expecting more of FUT in this retake. The troops only now starting to gather together, and a hefty investment here. Can they really pull this off?
That's going to be the question. Is it players don't know? The paranoia is perfect, and it's now Kovac left in main. A complete clean out by FUT.
And a serious statement to make a play as audacious as that. At a 2-player deficit, the Nightfall comes in. The sound is cut from every single player on the Vitality side. The paranoia just to make sure they're blinded up as well. And the return is huge from CNED.
Nice! Getting loud. The energy up. FUT keeping themselves toe-to-toe with Vitality. And well, that buy is starting to look a little bit suspect once again for the attack. Couple sheriffs in the mix. Les does have his Viper's Pit if they want to use it.
And it's the first time we actually see Vitality move towards the A side of the map and show intention to scale here. The spy cam of Yetijay from stairs is searching for a footprint or two. But as the toxins are recharging, it should be just a moment before Les replenishes them. It's actually a smoke from Kicks instead and a Prowler behind it.
Just making sure to pay attention to the small details. We are now beginning to scale up towards that C mound, and this is now allowing for players start to lean heavier towards A, but the site isn't the final destination, or so it would seem, as the players kind of prodded towards stairs instead. No, through tree they go. It will finally be the players. The site anchors under fire as Yetijay is the first to go. Cracks now trying to move from backside to further up close and making it one! 3 of the best from him.
Here.
And making sure FUT have an advantage.
Don't get in my
Pick coming in from Les, trying to fortify what is left of this site hold as it's beginning to crumble between him and Unfake. They have to go huge, and Les has made it a 2-on-2.
Numbers back, all even. Zeus trying to get a spam.
Timing.
Unfake is low. And well, as you say, the time's starting to get low itself. What can CNED do to even break through this? Not a whole lot. Tries to take a different approach, a different angle. He's onto the spike, but his health is going as well as the time. And well, it will be a vitality round in the end, even after Krax' heroics.
And a great performance on that round from Unfake as well. I feel like as soon as I highlighted his fragging potential, we saw it drop off a little bit, but 3 there and 3 from Krax, who, you know, in this roster, a lot of people in the community had sort of almost called for his head, I think, with the changes that we'd seen. Always someone you're expecting to see on the fade, all the KO, and only just starting to live up to the potential that he'd set from 22 and 23. At the beginning of the previous stage, in the group stage. Right now, it's FUT heavy on the A side once again, and Vitality will not go for the same play twice.
I think it's looking like it's going to be easy as possible towards C. Vitality will know how much space that they have, considering that they've not had any contact whatsoever, and looking for more space, especially after seeing how quickly the players are on the flank. In fact, no, the spike's planted for main, and Vitality want to fight that.
Yeah. It's still such a mixed bag from FUT. They're not expected to take too much from this, but there are other ramifications that can be addressed post-round. That Vitality are finding the sites a little bit too easy, I think, at times.
That they are, and Unfake's get 2 through B. As Krax still fires off bullets and he's not getting much to hit. I mean, finally gets Les's head, and you've got to be looking at the players that are trying to get on spike. They have to deal with Derka, but Vitality confirm an advantage into the next half.
And just going back to what I was saying, I think when we looked at this map pool coming in at the start of the day, Haven, Lotus, 3-site maps, very intensive for an in-game leader. This is, you know, the kind of confirmation that you want to see that Unfake can lead this team against an IGL, a veteran such as Mr. Fallen, who's led FUT to 4 different global events during his final round of the half now coming up. More ults for FUT available and a change in setup. It's almost come at the worst possible moment. There aren't 4 players ready on A this time. Not for FUT at least. Vitality in position with the spike drop back. Potentially posturing for yet another split execution, but this time B main will be a little more difficult to attain.
Vitality making sure that they scale slowly, right? Play that. But they have given away an audible in terms of destroying that Prowler. And they're just going to leave Unfake here as the rest of the pack look elsewhere. I
mean, he has the Nightfall and almost a full utility belt, so in terms of what he can do to create a distraction, maybe pull a player over if Yetijay gets caught in transition. The push is coming in from B main, that's the TP. They will have heard CNED making his escape, and as I said, that 1-player Hobbit Yetijay now put under a lot of stress in this situation to try and do his best effort on B. Quietly under the radar for now, but Derka will remove him.
Right, well, and the rest of the FUT are finally here, but not before Vitality have set up a perfect post plan.
Showstopper coming in, Derka trying to bash on the door and find a way out, but Zeus will dig him a grave instead. 4v4 situation, and it's a deep post plant. The flash will hit from the wall of the Vice, and Kovac laid up to get traded out. Numbers in their favor. Krax has to go on the offensive again to lead FUT to a 5th round, but it might just be their undoing instead. It's Kicks that closes, 8-4, Vitality in front. Not by as much a margin this time, but still fairly dominant.
That it is, but we will get that next half. I see if FUT can finally come back in and win a map after this break.
champs, which means that when you look at the rest of the group as well, BBL, of course, losing their match earlier on, and a couple of teams already 2-0. This could shake things up. It's now the attack side. CNED the front man, the face of the A push. Kovac and Kicks with a crossfire on the other side.
Oh, unfortunately, Jerka just tries to go and take an engagement. Still even though, through unfake, and Kovac from backside spams through the smoke and gets 3!
Spike down A.
Spike left all on no man's land. Well, I say no man's land, it's Vitality's land. And Yetaji needs to try and collect it as well as fight 3 clean fights.
Asking a lot of him in this position. Just digging out that first fight is everything, and the timing just about gets past the horn. This could be the crack in the door which he needs to wedge open.
Tries to go up.
Spotted.
Yeah, exactly, and all 3 players are here as Kovac tries to take a timing round the side and gives Yetaji a 1 versus 1. 4 bullets in the chamber. Well, not a whole lot of health left. Vitality get the 4th pistol. That's 4 out of 4 for them. Well, it looks like they'll be able to grab double digits as well.
There was a really nice refight back through. Great utility usage from Vitality. A little bit of luck shooting in the dark. But Kovac has impressed me so much today, finding kills in almost every round. 15 and 10 at this point in time. And also back on a Sentinel as well, which was the role that he was playing coming into this team. But when you've got someone like Les on the other side, you're never going to be taking the Cypher off his hands. You have to find something else, some point of comfort. The ISO looks confident.
Watching here.
And the Vice, you can't really fault it at this point in time. Of course, the defense is the stress test, but on pure eye test, he's put in the graft, and this second week is ultimately the most important. It's not about that first result, it's how you bounce back.
Les taking a forward position, and we'll find cracks. I thought for a minute that you would be overwhelmed, but instead, no.
Oh, steady on. You could have just seen the gun barrel poking around the corner there, Mr. Fallen, but can't close the distance quick enough.
Yeah, and this is now where things get even more difficult for FUT as they try to break through what is Kovac's setup, as well as the Phantom in hand. It's instead the... I thought it was going to be the Ghost. Instead, no, it is the Phantom actually doing the work here. And it's easy enough in the end, okay? Mr. Fallen. Bullet. No, I can't quite hit the head and make it work out in his favour. It will be double digits and 3 rifles getting through to the next.
Surprised we didn't see less on Prince of the Pistols. Maybe it isn't the opening round which he excels in, but that Ghost gets going, and now there are rifles for Vitality. Their economy management's been pretty damn good so far. As have the bonuses. I mean, we saw the stat earlier. They hadn't won a single one in their previous game. And
Last player standing.
Just need reconfirmation
Down, C.
from someone on the production side, but I believe they might have won every single one so far today.
Yeah, I think they have. Yeah, Yetaji needs to be careful of a further push from Vitality, as there's a lot of bodies towards this side of the map, but overall, FUT playing pretty reserved in their default. Zillion heavier on that A side. There's always a chance that this could quickly become a B split.
Yeah. And it looks like that's what FUT is set up for. Someone's got to go back and pick up the spike. Might end up being CNED with the teleport anchor move.
I'm worrying about that though, because if Dirka activates at the right time and catches that transition, it's a disaster. FUT are still going.
Still moving in towards B, and with the sand control, it's too easy for Les. Shot through the side of the box, and Yetaji drops. Zeus back in, and restoring order. Restoring numbers, giving an advantage to FUT. CNED's late positioning is strong, but the spike's still not made its way to the site, and that's a problem.
Dirka's starting to activate, just misses the timing on catching that spike. And the transition we were speaking about, but Kicks on the other side. He's the one closest to that spike plant, and he's telling Dirka to get a move on, because they want to fight.
Kix needs to be somewhat moderate in his approach here. Doesn't want to overcommit too much until Durka finds himself in position. Here he is, full belt of util, paranoia, that's the distraction. Durka laid up, but only one. And that simply won't cut it in this situation. Kix has already gone 1v3 on the map, but not on this round.
Yeah, the only thing I don't know about that round was the spike being left in spawn for so long, but hey, listen, FUT want to go and try and find those fights, fair enough. Less almost making us a difficult one, just buying them out in the end. Yeah, from then on, and FUT now have 5 rounds between the two. Is that lead continue, or has grown from the first half. Steel Guardian up for Kovac, that's the VIT ultimate if they want to use it in this one.
Vitality only have kicks towards A, but he's holding on to an Odin. That could prove to be problematic. As soon as CNED rings the doorbell, he's gonna start to unload the magazine. Also drop back, in fact, and reinforce some of this space. Rotation making its way over. This B control for Vitality has massively aided them in doing so.
Well, Vitality at the same time, they're wanting to play for the retake. They're setting themselves up for that, waiting to combine their forces, but that has allowed utility to go down for FUT to hold on.
That broken still. Huge stockpile of utility for Vitality into the retake, and Kova prowling the front lines, making it look easy as the Phantom quickly scours away 2 players. Scratched off the face of this round. FUT faltering, and with only 2 remaining, they're blind and dead at the hands of Unfake. 11 secured, Vitality back at their best.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a real professional performance right now. I don't think there's any other way to describe it. FUT are just not able to live with the firepower that Vitality has, and finally showing it in a match, an official. The plan creation is just spot on from the get-go.
And for FUT, that's a frustrating situation, but when you see that that side of the map is so quiet, you maybe want to be taking a few extra yards for your post-plant, rather than sitting back in the way that they were when no utility was bled from the Vitality stocks, which continue to increase here. More players towards A this time for the defense, but everyone else on FUT elsewhere. Kovac's got a lot of work on his plate, but enough utility to stall this out.
That's exactly what he's playing for.
Look at the TP!
Still hanging about, and maybe he's hung about a little bit too long, as that's an upgrade, and will even continuing forward, and that's the problem. CNED dying to the Thorns, and it's all even in a very weird way.
Durka losing his life there makes it a 3-on-3. Nightfall coming in, Krax has his with 1 more kill.
Yeah, Paranoia's Kix tries to stop players getting on to the fight, but when they do, they're going to win it out. Still though, the re-engage from CT, the re-clear is perfect, and Yetishi has 2 targets to try and knock down, which he cannot. It is map and series point for Vitality now.
Vitality, they have managed to turn the ship around in the space of a week. And for FUT, it feels like it's going to take a whole lot longer to get things going. The win against Mates was a great start, especially considering the fact that they found themselves down at a scoreline similar to this on the decider, but still responded. And into the time, looking a little out of depth, but there are ults to work with. That's the saving grace. The spacing, so important if we're to see a few more rounds from them.
That's their way back in for Vitality to keep FUT out of this match. Look to take some space of their own. Again through C. Kick still trying to hold on through A with an Odin. And well, there's a little bit of mid-rounding through B main, and well, it's going to activate the showstopper straight away. And Durka gets his opposite number.
Knows better than to hang around for any more fights there. The red glitch pop is back, but it's the showstopper that gets things started on what could be the final round for Vitality. A procession towards the finish line with CNED
Bad luck.
Bringing it back to a 4-on-4.
Keeping things even. Big reveal. Wakes up the players coming through, but as they try to deny the space, Unfake buys it through his silent drop. Now CNED trying to get some of his own and doing so successfully, but he's all got to do it. It's got to be an ace clutch. Still has 2 TPs in which to work, one expended through towards Tree, but instead cut down. FUT, after a successful week last week, coming from the depths, they're unfortunately sank here by Vitality's super team.
Well,